Hey guys, Primal here, and I'm going to be doing a little bit of an overview of the patch 10.13 notes, give you my initial impressions of it all. First thing I want to note is that all of the patch notes are tentative to change. So maybe everything I say here is going to be out of date in another 24 hours, but let's give it a shot. All right. Okay, so first of all, thank you to metacomps.com for compiling and transcribing the notes from the video that Riot's lead designer for TFT did. Them transcribing the notes means I don't have to, and I don't work with metacomps, but I think it's awesome that they put this together. All right, let's jump right into it. So it was New Galaxy. I'm not going to talk about this too much, but champions can only equip 2 items. I imagine cybers will be pretty good in a galaxy where you're limited on how many items you can stack on a carry. I think this will mean that you're going to want comps that run multiple carries. So cybers is a comp that has basically 3 carries with Echo, Aurelia, Vayne. Space Shrooms, you can run Jin and Teemo, even Nar can sort of carry. So basically comps where you have one carry who's going to be triple stacked, I think are going to be weaker in this galaxy. So I think Jinx is going to be weaker in this galaxy. So you probably won't want to run a Jinx-based comp in a galaxy like this. All right, Medium Legends removed from the game. Don't have too much of an opinion on that. Rest in peace, Medium Legends. Okay, let's get into the juicy shit. Battlecast. So you can see at level 3, it is buffed at all levels, but at level 3 is actually a pretty significant buff. The most significant buff. It goes from 325 to 480. That's a lot of extra damage or healing on proc. And we'll get to the rest of the changes to Battlecast later in the patch notes, but I think this in conjunction with the rest of the changes should make some sort of Battlecast variant possible. The units for Battlecast are quite good, right? We got Urgot, Cass, Victor, Cog. I'm actually a huge fan of Kog'Maw. I like to run him a lot early game. Kog'Maw with like a red buff and blaster synergy is really, really insanely good because every tick of red buff, I don't know if a tick happens every second or whatever, but there are multiple ticks of red buff that all contribute toward the Battlecast proc, right? So while the red buff is draining their health, it's building up stacks of Battlecast, which makes it really good on him. So I think this will only make Cog better, and it'll make Cog a unit that you might want to actually keep around till late game. I'm not really sure what a good Battlecast comp would be right now off the top of my head, but there's got to be something in there that's pretty good. I mean, if you were to run 6 Battlecast, you'd probably want 2 Blaster, and then you would need some sort of frontline. So I'll leave it up to the millions of people who play the game to come up with what the optimal use of 6 Battlecast is, but looks really interesting. And maybe Battlecast Spat will become way more interesting to use as well. Okay, Blademaster looks like a slight nerf at level 2. So there's a 5% reduction in chance for bonus attacks at level 2. I think that's good. I think it's targeted toward the Bang Bros comp. I can't even say that with a fucking straight face, Bang Bros. That's gaining a lot of popularity right now, where you're basically stacking Yi with rapid fire cannon, Quicksilver Sash or Warmog, and Rage Blade or Deathcap. The comp is super strong when it's fully online and when you hit 3-star Yi, so I think it's good that it's getting nerfed. But I think the comp will still be super relevant, and I think it's worth you learning now if you don't already know how to play it. Okay, Blaster 3. So Blaster level 2, which requires 4 blasters, got a little stronger. I don't think this will make 4 blaster very appealing, personally. I think the issue with 4 blaster is that 2 of the blasters are not going to have any items, and all you're getting out of them is their extra auto attack damage, and you're sacrificing frontline in favor of those blasters. So typically, when you run blasters, you're going to run Ezreal and Jinx as the premier blasters. And then, if you wanted to run 2 more blasters, it'd probably be something like Cog and probably Graves, even Graves over Lucian just for the utility. And I mean, maybe with Battlecast buffs, Cog is someone who you want to run more late game, but I personally think you're going to want to just have some brawlers or even vanguards or, a random synergy like Mystics in over 2 additional blasters. So I don't think this will change much personally. Cybernetics, small nerf to the bonus AD. That's good. That's good. This is actually a pretty significant nerf for Vayne. I mean, more significant than it might seem, just because Vayne, she scales off of the attack damage, both for her auto attacks and also for her ultimate, which scales off of her AD. So this is a pretty healthy nerf. I think Cybers will still be good, looking at this at least in isolation, but it won't be something where like half the lobby is trying to play Cybers and then they pivot to whatever they hit if they can't play Cybers. I think it'll be more if you have a really good start for Cybers, you play it, but you don't necessarily try to force it every game. So good. I think that's a good change. Darkstar. So I'm gonna caveat this by saying someone told me that Pult was playing a Darkstar based build that's actually pretty good. I have not seen anyone play Darkstar successfully with my own eyes. This kind of change, I don't know, for bonus AD and AP, doesn't feel like it should make Darkstar relevant. But I guess I'll withhold judgment just because I haven't seen this comp yet. And if there is a Darkstar comp that's good now, it got better. But I personally don't think that Darkstar is particularly good. I think it just requires that you run too many not great units. At least until you hit like Xerath. You're running like Shaco, who's just kind of okay, Mord, who's pretty mediocre, Karma, who's okay, but kind of situational. So I don't think this will make Darkstar good by itself, but we'll see. It's not a comp I would try to force day one though. It's I would stick to some of the other comps that you know and love already, and just be mindful of the changes to those rather than trying to force Darkstar here. But maybe it makes running like 2-piece or 4-piece Darkstar better. Infiltrator, I think this is a big buff. I think it's actually a pretty significant buff. 10% bonus attack speed. Attack speed is a really interesting trait because the thing with attack speed is not only does it mean that you do more damage from autos, right? Because you're auto attacking faster. It means that you cast your spells more quickly. So this means like Fizz gets the ult more quickly, Mech gets the ult more quickly because of the Infiltrator buff that it's inheriting from Fizz. Echo gets the ult more quickly. I think this is actually a pretty huge buff to Infiltrator. And what we might see is more Mech Infiltrator builds come up because the buff is at 4 Infiltrator. So Mech Infiltrator probably plus like Shaco, Echo, maybe Nocturne just for the utility that he provides. Particularly if you do a reroll comp, you get him to 3-star, and Zed is probably going to be the move. Sorry, you get Fizz in there. So probably drop Nocturne and play Zed instead. But this could put Infiltrators on the map, which is good. I mean, I personally fucking hate playing versus Infiltrators, but that's just a personal thing. It's not like a balance thing. So I think this is good, and I think it'll be pretty significant. And it should spawn the popularity of a new comp, and my bet is Mech Infiltrator is going to come back, but we'll see. And look, finally, Mystic. Looks like Vanguard Mystic is getting hit with a nerf bat. Well deserved. Very obnoxious comp to play against. It's kind of unfun to play against a comp that just has like an unkillable front line. I think only 5 magic resist nerf is not going to make a huge deal though. So I think Vanguard Mystic, based on this, would still be viable. I think there are other changes to Vanguard Mystic though that will make it not viable anymore. So my prediction is that Vanguard Mystic was going to fall off the face of the earth unless you really, really high roll it. I don't think it's something that you're going to want to play, but we'll get into the rest of the changes when we get into the champion changes. And look at that first one. It's a Battlecast unit that's getting buffed. 100 extra HP. That's a huge deal early game. 2 extra seconds of spell duration. This unit just got so goddamn tanky. And she steals more defense. So Lowie's going to become one of the best one costs for sure. Lowie's going to be a unit you want to pick up every time you see her. And try to at least run her for Battlecast early game, plus like a Cog or a Nocturne. Speaking of Nocturne, extra attack speed in combination with Infiltrator buff. Actually, it's Infiltrator at 4, so it's not super relevant for him because I don't know if there are many situations where you'd run Nocturne and 4 Infiltrator. You'd probably drop him for Zed or something, but Nocturne 3 got buffed, so I guess Riot is looking into ways to make Mech Infiltrator reroll come back. The favorite comp of everyone, I'm sure. But yeah, overall, Battlecast buffs. Again, I'm going to keep hammering it home. I think Battlecast is going to be a comp to walk out for, or Battlecast units in general are going to be in high demand. Xayah, less mana to cast. That's good. I think that's a reversion of the nerf that she got when Shredder was super popular. The Xayah reroll comp. This is good because Xayah right now, she's kind of awful. She takes so long to get her ult going. And then when she does get her ult going, it's not super high impact because she kind of needs time to get value on her ult because it's an attack speed buff. So it's good that she's getting buffed. She should be relevant at least. Right now, she's almost completely irrelevant. So that's good. But I don't think it'll single-handedly put Shredder back in the meta. I think the nerfs to Last Whisper really, really hurt Xayah's ability to carry reliably. So I don't think Shredder is back, but maybe Xayah is a unit who you don't completely ignore when you get a 2-star version of her like I do. All right, let's talk about the 2 costs. Darius, 5 armor buff, 30 magic resist buff. That's good because he is super squishy right now, actually. And he's a unit who I can't even put in frontline. I can't ever put him in frontline pretty much right now. So it's good that he's getting a little bit tankier. And he got spell damage buffs, which I don't think he personally needed. I thought he's already a really good unit with a single item, Ionic Spark or Death Cap. But he's going to be, I think, oppressively strong with all around buffs to his kit. So look to pick him up. He's going to be really, really strong mid-game carry. I don't think there's any comps that are built around Darius that I can think of. I think Space Jam, which was a pretty fun and effective comp that existed before the mid-set update, still will continue not to be good, primarily because it lost Kassadin. Kassadin was a huge deal as a Mana Reaver and Celestial that you would build the comp around. He was sort of a bridge between the different units in the comp. And with that gone, I think Darius is going to be mostly just a role player who you play to help you win streak in stage 2 and 3, and then you probably sell him in stage 4. Coggers. Cog is good, and he's getting even better. 50 extra HP. He casts faster by having his mana cost reduced, and his ult does more at level 3. So this will make Battlecast comps even more appealing. There's got to be something in here where you go for 3-star Cog, and he just carries you the whole game. And maybe you throw in, let's see, either Ezreal or Jinx, probably Ezreal, to help supplement the Cog, and you run Chrono with him because he scales really well with attack speed since he's doing % max HP damage. So Cog is going to be a unit to watch out for. 100% pick up Cog, 100% pick up Alawi early game. I think that you'll see a lot of success in your games if you do. Nautilus, slight nerf. He has his mana cost. His starting mana is lower, so it takes him longer to ult. And he has a stun duration a little bit shorter. I think he'll still be a very relevant unit, but right now he kind of is like the power level of a 3 cost. So it's good that Riot's making slight adjustments to his power level, so he feels a little bit more like a 2 cost. 3 costs. Bard, cast time significantly reduced. Good, because his ult takes a little bit of it feels like it takes like I don't know how much time it takes. It takes a long time to cast though. So this will mean that he is spawning more meeps every round. I just wanted to say the word meep. I could have just said he's just gonna ult more. But meaning you'll get more EXP out of Bard, which is good. Because the problem is with Bard, you're always trading health for EXP, right? When you play him, because he makes your board weaker, because he as a unit doesn't really do that much damage at least. So it's good that they're making him a little bit more appealing, and it'll create more scenarios where it's like, okay, maybe if you're not win streaking or it's super early game and the damage isn't that high that you take from enemies, Bard can be more useful. So that's good. Cassiopeia, big nerf, in my opinion. This is actually a pretty substantial nerf. This is like a 10 to 20% reduction in her damage per second. So she's still doing the same amount of damage, but it's going to take longer for her to deal that damage, which I think is a huge deal considering that she is the primary carry for Vanguard Mystic. And I think this in conjunction with the not the Mystic nerf is like, it's like whatever. I mean, it matters, but this in conjunction with also having a Jace nerf is a big deal. And I think this is going to make Vanguard Mystic not unplayable, but much less prevalent, and certainly not something that's worth forcing anymore. So It was a good run for Vanguard Mystic for Freelo, but I think that run has come to an end with this package of nerfs. And well-deserved nerfs, in my opinion. Master Yi looked like he's getting a spell damage nerf at level 3. That's good. Targets Bang Bros, which is super oppressive when you get it fully online. And it'll mean that Master Yi getting to 3-star doesn't auto-win, which is what it kind of feels like right now. So I think that's good. And I'm glad they're making this change. Fizz has emerged as like basically the best 4-cost. Or a unit who you can just throw in any comp. So I think a slight nerf to Fizz is good. I think he'll still be good in Mech Infiltrator, which I think is going to come back, but he's not going to necessarily be the unit who you throw into every single comp because he's going to take a lot longer to ult. 10 mana is a significant difference because basically he needs to auto attack once more. And we've all been there and seen those fights where, you know, if someone had got one more auto, they would have won the fight. So I think this is a good nerf, but I still think he's a really great unit and a unit who is super disruptive to the backline, which is why you primarily want to run him. All right, Gnar, big boy. Overall, basically, look, the narrative here is Gnar 3 got buffed, right? Way more HP, way more AD, 1500 more HP, 150 more AD. That's huge. That actually makes Gnar 3 a win condition. If you're running something like Brawler Blaster or what else? Where else does Gnar run? Oh, Space Shrooms. It makes Gnar 3 much more of a relevant win condition, which I'm glad about because right now when you hit Gnar 3, it doesn't actually feel like it's enough of a difference to warrant the chase. He does get a stun duration debuff though. And that coupled with the next change to Jinx, I think makes Brawler Blaster certainly weaker. Because Brawler Blaster, you're usually gonna run 4 Brawlers and 2 Blasters. That said, I mean, what I could see happening since Jinx is getting nerfed on her attack speed directly is people choose to run 4 Blasters a little bit more often. Maybe you run like Cog Alawi and you keep them in the comp. Although, what would that mean you have to sacrifice? No, you don't want to drop Vi. You don't want to really drop Malphite either. Well, I guess you're not playing Malphite if you're not playing Rebels, but I think Rebel buff is pretty important in this comp. So I don't know. It just seems like a straight nerf to Brawler Blaster. I guess Brawler Blaster is a top tier comp right now. So it makes sense that they're tuning it up a little bit. I think it'll still certainly be relevant. I think the strong part of Jinx's kit is her rockets doing magic damage. It makes it much easier for Jinx to kill a wide variety of targets. Even if they have high armor, she's doing magic damage. Even if they have high magic resist, she's still doing physical damage. But yeah, I think it'll be still really, really good. But maybe you want to run her in Rebels rather than Brawler Blaster because of the Gnar nerf. Because it's unlikely that you're going to be chasing Gnar 3 in a Brawler Blaster comp. Or rather, not that you're not going to chase them, but it's not a reliable win condition, right? So I think net, it's a nerf to Brawler Blaster. Riven, nerfed. Good. Riven's kind of nuts under the right conditions right now. 6 Sorg Riven is really, really hard to kill. She's just like oddly tanky. So this is good. I think the comp will still be more than relevant though. But I think it'll just feel a little less bad to play against when you have a full stack Riven. But I still think it'll be really, really strong. So I think the comp will continue to be relevant. And then Teemo. So Teemo is nerfed. There's a nerf at 3-star. That's not super relevant. 4 to 3 second slow duration though. That's a big deal. Teemo thrives on just slowing down the enemy, particularly in late game scenarios where it's like down to a 1v1 and the enemy's crippled and they can't even get to Teemo. I think a 25% reduction in how long that slow lasts is a pretty big deal. And I think it'll mean that Teemo is less of the hard carry that he currently is. But I still think Teemo will be a good unit who you want to play in conjunction with Jhin for sure. Echo, good. Echo's getting nerfed. Hallelujah. This champion is so broken right now. He does so much damage at 2-star. He'll just 100 to 0 like a Jinx, no problem. So this is a good, healthy nerf. The champion will still be really good. He's both like a built-in frozen heart and he does a lot of damage, but this will mean that your K doesn't instantly get deleted every single time you face an Echo 2, which is nice because in maps like Nicoverse, where you're facing like 3 Echo 2s, it's super frustrating to play a 4 cost. So that's good. And then Thresh, finally. Thresh. I like Thresh a lot. I like his design a lot. I think he's a really cool unit, but he's a little too strong right now. So this is a pretty substantial nerf to his kit. I think Thresh will now require an item to be the super OP effective guy that he is right now. So you're going to want to build a Shojin's or a blue buff on him. I think a Thresh without items is not going to be someone that you want to throw in blindly into any comp as like your level 9 play anymore, which is a good thing. But I think if you can get Thresh with Shojin's, he'll still be very good and perform similarly to what you expect from him now. And Urgot's not nerfed, so as long as the Urgot's still around, Thresh will be super, super relevant and super highly desirable if you can get both Thresh and Urgot. All right, let's get to the item changes now. Bloodthirster and Gunblade, both buffed. Yeah, that's nice. I mean, I think the issue with Bloodthirster and Gunblade is that generally speaking, they are, especially with Bloodthirster, it's kind of reliant on, it's only providing combat effectiveness so long as you're attacking, right? When you're not attacking with Bloodthirster, you're not getting any benefit from lifesteal, and there's a lot of CC in late game scenarios. That's usually why carry dies. So I don't know how much it'll help. I don't think it'll change the item priority for me personally. It's still an item I'm not going to be building very often. It's pretty much an item I'm just going to build when I have to, and I think this change makes it feel less bad when I have to. Gunblade, I mean, this is such a niche item at the moment. I don't even know who really thrives on it besides Jace. And most champions of the game, they have like a big spell that they cast once, and they're not really getting that much value out of Gunblade because if you cast that too early, maybe you don't get that much life back, etc. So again, I think it's kind of Bloodthirster tier in terms of, hey, okay, when you have to build it, it won't feel as bad, but it's not an item you're going to prioritize. Jeweled Gauntlet, 10% bonus extra crits. I think that's pretty significant. I think this item in combination with Infinity Edge is already super, super good because Infinity Edge guarantees that you crit, and then Jeweled Gauntlet guarantees that it makes your spells crit and it makes you do bonus damage. So I think the conjunction of these items will make them best in slot for certain builds. I'm not really sure what yet, but I imagine people like Victor are definitely going to want this. Probably even over Death Cap. Perhaps even over double Death Cap. So I think this is a pretty big buff, and you should see Jeweled Gauntlet become best in slot for some builds. So I wouldn't be as shy about slamming a Jeweled Gauntlet now. Static Shiv, that's a pretty significant early game buff, or buff in general. It's more of an early game item. I think this is a really good item when you're playing like Cog. So again, Battlecast, play Cog is going to be really good because it helps him stack Battlecast procs. And actually, there's a few items that work like this, right? Morello's works with Battlecast, Red Buff works with Battlecast, Static Shiv works with Battlecast, Ionic Spark works with Battlecast. So I think this is a really good early game option, especially if you know you're going to be running something like Battlecast that really thrives off of procs. So I think this is something that you're going to want to build a little bit more often when you get a Kog'Maw in particular. And then finally, Drop Portal. I'm glad Drop Portal is getting buffed. These are pretty substantial buffs. At 1 star, 500 more HP on the Drop unit, and at 2 star, 250 HP. That's good because Drop Portal, I'm not really sure why it fell off in popularity. There was a hot second there where it was super good. And then, I don't know, it just stopped getting built. I'm not really sure why, to be honest, but I think this will make it more relevant as an early game item that you want to slam. And that's about it. It's not really something that you're going to want to look for late game, but think of Drop Portal as like having an extra unit on your team, right? It's like being level 4 when you're level 3. So I think this will be really, really helpful because the Drop Portal unit actually does a fair amount of damage. And belt and bow in the current meta, I mean, I'm not going to say they're not good, but I think they're not so essential that you can't afford to just slam his drop portal and try to win streak. So look out for this item, and this will definitely help you win stage 2 consistently if you build this item. But put it on someone who has a high star value, right? So 2-star ideally, because you get more HP from it. All right, then finally, we're not going to go through bug fixes and stuff, but look at system changes. Raise the minimum number of items that can drop in a game by 1. Oh, that feels good. Oh, that's cool. So I guess it will mean if you low roll items, it's less punishing than before. You'll get more items than you used to, so that feels good. And then if you're a ranked master above, you may only solo queue in ranked. That's fine. I guess there's win trading and stuff, so this is good for avoiding win trading. So yeah, overall, I think it's a good looking patch. Some tuning that was necessary for sure. I would say the things that I expect to be strong are some sort of Battlecast variant. I think Hog and Alawi are going to be top tier units now. Darius is going to be really strong. Not sure why they're buffing him, but I'm going to be playing the fuck out of him. Built in with Ionic, Deathcap, and GA for sure, and he'll carry you, and then you can transfer those items to Riven or Gangplank later. And he will carry you until you find those units, no problem. And Cybers will continue to be good, but not quite as oppressive as it is right now, because it got nerfed on the cybernetic trait and Echo got nerfed. I don't think 4 Blaster is going to become a thing, but we'll see. I think the Rebel buff is just so strong, particularly if you hit Aurelion Soul. Aurelion Soul's super good now. So it's hard for me to justify dropping 4 Brawlers or 3 Rebels to play 4 Blaster and 4 Blaster, 4 Brawler. In favor of 4 Blaster, 4 Brawler, rather. And I think that's it, guys. Overall, looking forward to the patch. Looking forward to hopefully climbing on it. So I've been on a little bit of a plateau. And I hope you enjoyed this video. We'll be doing these patch rundowns every time there's a patch. So happy climbing, guys. I'll talk to you later. Hey guys, I hope you liked the video. My name is thatsPRIMAL, and this is Uzi, and we are on a journey to become a professional gamer. Yes, both of us. And that means a combination of making content, streaming, and competing in tournaments. So if you like the video, please don't forget to like and subscribe. It really, really does help us on our journey to make this stream a reality. And we're going to be putting out content on a regular basis that's designed to help you get better at Teamfight Tactics. So thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and see you next time.